podcast stupid. Nice podcast stupid. Nice podcast stupid.
Happy Thursday night, Funsters. The Dan Man and Deb are here. Welcome to Nice Podcast Stupid. Deb, how's your week going? How's things?
Pretty good. Going well. How about yourself, Dan?
I think you know how I'm doing. I'm a little frustrated. I can't really talk about why I'm frustrated. It's not sexual, luckily. But let's just say we're going to have a nice, fun Tuesday solo show because I've got a lot to get off my chest about a certain someone in the extended Dabbleverse, Hackverse world who thinks that they can screw over the Dan Man. But what you don't know is you fuck me. you don't want to do it. You just don't want to do it because I've got a microphone and I'm a loud, obnoxious person. Some might call me cringe. Some people on Hackverse Anonymous might say, hey, that Dan guy, he's really cringy. And it's only a matter of time before he ruins all the goodwill in the world. And you know what? Maybe that day is Tuesday. Maybe I will lose all the goodwill. So a little bit of a teaser for Tuesday. You are not going to want to miss it. Hit the like, button, the bell button, because I am going to have maybe the most epic of all meltdowns that you will ever have. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold it until then, but I feel like I have to let it bottle inside of me. And I need to let this person, I got to give him one last shot to do me right before I just drop bombs like Hiroshima. I will go Nagasaki on that ass like you read about, and just buckle up. And I don't think this person is smart enough to know that they're looking down the barrel of a very large nuke that is coming in their direction. So we'll see. We'll find out. Yeah, tear it down Tuesday as my lost interest.
Hey, good to see you. My lost interest. I was missing you. I haven't seen you around lately.
Welcome back, my lost
nice
interest.
To see you.
Hopefully you enjoyed your time away from the shitverse and you're back. Yeah, not that I would ever be like, oh, you want to clip the show or whatever. I appreciate the clippers, and when they do that, and I never would be like, you got to clip this Tuesday. If you want to hear F-bombs and you want to see fireworks, definitely tune in on Tuesday. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But speaking of F-bombs and calling people the C word, Kevin Brennan. So for those that know this show, know that Kevin and I have a love-hate relationship. Is that a safe way to, is that a good way to call it, Deb? What would you call the relation? Well, I mean, it's a one-way street. Kevin obviously doesn't think very highly of me, and I've definitely probably donated way too much in super chats. I do have an addiction. I've admitted it. I'm seeing a therapist about my super chat addiction. I'm trying to get it in control. It's wrecking my finances. I'm spending way too much on super chats. So I'm going to cut back on those. In fact, what I'm trying to do with the super chats, I'm trying to only send them to people that need them, or people that earn them, people that are good eggs, like the Ray DeVitos.
Shmuel. He doesn't get them yet. But Dave, Sarah,
Dave, Sarah, and Shmuel, I'll send them. The smaller people. Even the win by twos, I'll send him a couple of bucks. He's a good egg. And less of the people that are dismissive. The people that are just in it for the super chat machine. The super chat machine is fucking killing the Hackverse. Okay, there's too many fucking shows that it's turn on the machine, super chat machine goes burr, and oh, we're all caught up. Oh no.
This is going to be a short show.
Gonna be a
wink, wink, hint, hint.
No $2 super. I'm not going to read any $2 super chats. All the fucking cliche stuff. It's just getting so fucking old. Either you like doing what you're doing and you're creative and you want to have fun and you want to like put some effort. You don't have to put a ton of effort into it, but either you're in it for that or you're in it for the super chats. And unfortunately, there are too many people. Obviously, present name or face on the screen is one of them. I'm not going to name any other names, but people know who they are, and they're solely in it for the super chat machine. And you can tell by the quality, they don't have any original ideas. They go back to the same fucking well over and over and over again. Hit live, send me money. And then if they don't get enough super chats, they get all surly and they get mad because, oh my God, I'm not getting my super chats today and the numbers are down and I didn't make my nut and all this garbage. Either you're in it for the love of the game or you're not. Okay. We got demonetized. I'm in it for I'm doing two shows for the love of the game. I like doing it. I like entertaining myself. First off, I like entertaining other people. I like having a community. I like talking shit about things. I'm in it for the love of the game. If I make no money, if I lose money on it, that's fine with me. I don't care. I'll keep doing it. And for those little Hackverse anonymous fags that, oh, Dan's cringe, Dan's going, I'm not going anywhere, bitch. You can't make me disappear. I'm not going anywhere. So let me just maybe.
Okay. As Felicia says, you can't kill me, or whatever she said when she looked at her.
You cannot kill me. I'm Michael fucking Myers, bitch. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, so get used to me. I'm inevitable. There's no disappearing act right here. Whether I get paid $0 or $1 million, I ain't going nowhere. And I don't care. I don't have any delusions that I'm more talented than anyone. I don't have delusions that I'm going to make it rich. I'm not in it to make it. I'm not quitting my day job. I'm a salesperson. I'm fucking successful salesperson. I'm probably
Look
the
at that
best
background.
salesperson.
Look at
Which
that
one?
background. That's success right there. Your
This,
background.
this,
Yes.
that's
Look
my
at
sale.
that.
Exactly. This is success. In fact, I'd put my fucking my background against any of these super chat fags. Okay. Kevin Brennan, we'll name him. There's other people. I don't want to say their names, but you all know who I'm talking about. None of them put their money where their mouth is. They take your super chats, and you know what they do? They fucking go off and they take vacations, or they don't reinvest in their show. I did this out of my own pocket. You know why? Because I thought it was fun. It's funny, and it's kind of like silly too. It's goofy. Somebody said, oh, it's the Dabbleverse starter pack. Yeah, it kind of is. It's a little bit tongue in cheek too. Like I kind of did it to be silly. Like, look at some of the things behind. I got a fucking dinosaur. Of course, I'm being fucking tongue in cheek here. But you know what I did? I took the limited money that I had when I was monetized, and I put it back in the fucking show. I've got good mics. Talk to Peter Sky Parker about my audio. He's got no problem with my audio. Check out my camera. I got 1080p, bitch. Okay. I'm not fucking around. Right. So when I do get remonetized, know that every dollar that I make either goes to Deb because I want to help her out, or it goes back into the show. Because I'm not in it. This is a hobby. It's fun. It's about talking shit. It's about telling fucking dick jokes. And it's about calling out losers and frauds like this guy. So, Deb, why don't you talk a little bit about what do you call it? Balaclava? Is that
Balaclava? I mean, he looks like a scuba diver with a banana on his head.
He looks like an urban scuba urban scuba. Easy for me to say. Urban scuba diver. Oh God, I watched that one.
Balaclava, Mama B. Thank you so much. Balaclava. Okay.
So when he first wore it the first time, it's like, oh, it was a cold day because he likes to ride his bike around New York.
Right.
But then he started doing it every single day. And so so you have a theory, maybe even more than a theory. Maybe you know something I don't know. What are you hearing? What are your people telling you about the balaclava?
I have a theory. I mentioned this the other night on Rob Saul's show. He gets a lot of heat for having a turkey neck. I think he had a neck lift.
Oh,
I do.
Okay.
And when you have a neck lift, I've never had one, but when that time comes on, why not, right? It pulls you, makes you have a nice jawline and stuff. He's been ribbed and chipped about his turkey neck, and I wouldn't be surprised if he had a neck lift. And I guess they open you up and pull it back. I suppose so. You have to usually have a bandage to hold it tight. And you cover it up. If he does go outside, you're really supposed to rest when you have any kind of surgery. But if he goes outside, and he's cold and he rides his bike, of course he'd wear that.
Wow. From wow to gobble, 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 gobble.
Gobble, gobble. But I think maybe the reason he would get a neck lift is because if the scuttlebutt is true and his wife is separated from him or has filed for divorce, he wants to win her back, either that, or maybe he's going to, in the spring, dip his pink feet in the dating pool. So what say you? I think so. So probably had a neck lift. I know he's been sick. He's got the kennel cough going. But you have heat in your house. I mean, you don't need to wear that. You've got heat. It looks ridiculous. Just take it off, Kevin. Prove me wrong. Let's see your neck. Show us your neck, KB.
Yeah, like there's no way he turned off the heat in his palatial Manhattan mansion, his penthouse apartment. The old man go to Turkey for the turkey neck. Everybody's going to Turkey for turkey necks and turkey teeth. Speaking of turkey teeth, well, no, I don't want to make fun of him. He's a good egg. We have someone who's going to join the show. I see him waiting. I don't like to keep people waiting, especially because I'm sure.
Let's hit the intro. We've been making a mistake. We've been hitting the intro after we bring the people out. But we have somebody coming up that has a very good, unique take on Ray, knows him very well. I won't say intimately well. That's not the way it is. But knows Mr. DeVito very well. I think he would consider Ray a friend, actually. So let's play the intro and let's bring our friend out.
Okay, and he has a very cute dog as well that he can tell us.
Yes, he does.
Shmooly, how are you, Shmool?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hello.
Yes, I would call Ray a friend. And I did ask Kevin on a super chat today, which I don't usually send super chats. Did he have his neck done?
I saw that. I saw that.
That's part of why we wanted to have you on the show, Shmool, to congratulate you on calling out the turkey neck. So what's your theory on the balaclava? What do you think's going on with this thing?
So I actually wear balaclavas too. Right now I have a neck.
A neck lift?
A gaiter. A neck gaiter.
Yeah.
And Kevin and I are men of a certain age, and I've got the turkey neck. So there's definitely a part of this where what you said is correct, which was, I started wearing it because it was cold, and then I'm on stream. I'd forgotten to take it off, and I'm like, oh, it hides my turkey neck. And then you wind up remembering, like when you were young, and you would see women with the scarves on,
right,
in the like sort of in the summer, and you make a decision. Like, well, what's worse is. Would I rather get the insults for wearing the neck gaiter, or would I get the insults for having the turkey neck? So
right.
I do both. But yeah, I think you might not be wrong, because I actually know someone who had the neck taken in, and after the surgery, they put a spandex thing around your neck, not too tight because it's your neck. But if you look at the balaclava on the bottom and you go back and look at when he's worn it before, it's very puffy.
Right. So the bandages, right.
Right. I think
I have another theory, by the way, about the balaclava. So we all know Kevin is I don't think it's any surprise or any shock to anyone that he's losing his hair, right? His hairline is getting a little less thick, so to speak, and it almost has like a little bit of a patch there that the hair isn't growing in anymore. I think that he's having that existential angst that a lot of us baldies have when we're in that inflection point from having hair to being a bald person. And I think I'm not saying that's the only reason he's doing it, but I think it's almost like a kill two birds with one stone sort of thing, where he's a little self-conscious about the neck. He's gotten comments about it. People have started making comments about his hairline and the wacky little hair thing that he's got going on. So I think it's almost it's not a midlife because he's past midlife, but it's that sort of that old man thing where he's so vain that he doesn't like getting called out on it. He's a little sensitive about some of the signs of aging that are starting to creep in on Kevin. What say you on that, Shmuel?
I would not disagree. But it's not like Kevin, right? Kevin's the guy that's like, I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Right.
Wow. Oh no. I'm losing my hair. Oh no.
I think with Kevin, though, he always, if you look at older clips from him, like when he was doing comedy, I think he always had sort of that patch in the corner where it doesn't quite grow. When he does start to grow out his hair, he actually looks pretty good. He would look better if he grew out his hair, I believe. And I mean, I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek about the neck lift because he's also doesn't want to spend on guests. So he's been pretty tight.
He did look like he had almost what do they call it? The Bell's palsy. Like at one point, remember that one day or week where it looked like he got stung in the face? So as somebody, I just put up the chat, somebody said, well, maybe he has an abscessed tooth that he hasn't taken care of, and it's like swollen on the one side of his face. So he's a little self-conscious about kind of like, you see like the cheek to our right, but his left, or well, I think it's that way. Doesn't it look like it's a little kind of jetted out, almost like there's like an abscess maybe, or swollen?
I don't know, because the neck thing, and if there is a bandage, would be kind of pushing it up, sort of like, like a muffin top on a person with the jeans, and it puffs you out like Patrick Tomlinson. But now I have to go to the dentist Monday because I have an abscess going, and my cheek wasn't sticking out like that. It's I'm like Joe Kumi, I have to get a wisdom tooth out that's abscessed. So I have that going on. But I think like a combination of just that. I just feel it's that. What is it? Baklava? I gotta go back. Balaclava. Thank you, balaclava. And I call it headgear, but I just think it's just pushing everything up.
Right. Okay. So I wear a balaclava as well. But Kevin, I see Kevin pretty regularly. We're sort of in near towns in Jersey. I see him riding his bike, and it's been very cold.
Oh, so I know. Yeah,
the balaclava, it really makes. I was shocked at how much difference it made. So especially when you don't have hair. So
I'm surprised that he keeps riding his bike when it's this cold, like in January, February. You think that, hey, if it's below 40 degrees, maybe I just sit this one out. But it seems like he still forces himself to go out on that bike even when it's like freezing out, which is, I guess, commendable. He probably feels like he needs to get away from his the wife works, right? What does she work at a hospital? I mean, I don't want
to dox her. I've heard what she does for a living. I'd rather.
We don't want to dox her. We don't want to talk about the smash pad that she goes and has her dates with her boyfriend at. We don't want to we don't want to go into that side of things. We don't want to embarrass Kevin on his situation.
Dominic says cardio heats you up a lot, which is true. But when you get in a house, why is it still on? Like I said, I'm sure he has heat.
So one of life's mysteries. We could pick apart Kevin forever on his looks, but Shmuel, what's new with you? By the way, congratulations, 100. What do we hit the 100 mark? Yeah.
I'm up. Yes, and I'm now up to 102. And
102.
I did notice tonight. I picked 6:45 on Thursdays so that I would, because nobody else was streaming at that time. And then I remembered that Who Are These Socials is on, and I always try to finish by 8 because you guys were on. And tonight I ran a little late because I had the pineapple on, and I noticed my numbers, as low as they were starting to drop when you guys came on. So
you were like, all right, let's wrap it up, and I'll go over there, and we'll.
I got it. Yeah. Because that's the hardest part, trying to find a time, right? When
oh gosh, with so many people, it's crazy. I think only mornings are left, but Melton does mornings, so it's really hard to find a time slot. Eventually, just
when it works.
Yeah, you have to figure out who.
Is this right? Is it at Buckman Shmuel?
No, it's not. That's actually my Twitter account. It's at.
Okay.
It's at Shmuel_Buckman.
All right. Let me I want to get this right because we want to make sure we get plenty of promotion for Shmuel, because I want to get, just like I want us to get remonetized, I want this guy to get raking in the I want you to be one of these super chat machine guys where you just turn it on. It's like, oh, Shmuel, turn it on and start reading the super chats. Oh, we're all caught up. Send some more. I want to get you to that spot where you are just raking in. And you don't even care about the quality anymore because you're Shmuel fucking Buckman, right?
That's not gonna. I enjoy interacting with the chat, the free chat, and it's not something I'm gonna have to face anytime soon. But I don't want super chats ruining my show.
Like Shuli. Now I heard you talk with Pineapple today about Shuli, and that's one of the things. If I do watch Shuli's show, which I don't watch it that often because it's the same thing over and over. It's like a booger came out of Stuttering John's nose. Oh, look, he didn't wash his hair. His headrest in his car is high. It's kind of the same thing over and over. And the problem is they never get to the meat. They read super chats, like you said, for 25 minutes. So anytime I do watch Shuli, I try to watch it when it's already aired so I can just fast forward and get like the 30 minutes of actual content that he may or may not have.
Exactly. And I find nothing more frustrating than that starting to get to the meat. It's like we're going to start there and then they go off into super chats and you're sitting there for 15 minutes waiting for them to get back and you don't know when they're going to get back to it. If they're going to get back to it, they're going to talk about that. And I'm like, I've invested time in this, fellas. You gotta hurry it up.
What do you think of the super tip system? Would you ever be down with the super tips? Are you into that?
Yeah,
or
I think look, I don't really see a significant difference between super tips and super chats. But I like the super tips mostly because you're getting, 90% of your money. It's going to the person that you give it to. If you've ever super tipped anyone, say Pat Dixon, you're going to look at your credit card statement in the morning and it's going to say $5 to Pat Dixon. Not.
Oh no, he can see my credit card numbers.
And he's going to know the last 4 digits of your credit card, Shmuel, and your zip code. you're done.
Yeah. I've had a merchant account for a very long time, and it's so much tempest in a teapot.
Yeah, it's
real. Thanks for the $2. If you close your eyes, it sounds like Tom Myers.
That's the worst insult I've ever had.
That's pretty reals. That's pretty low, man.
Yeah.
KB says the AI voices are so fucking annoying. Some of them are good, some of them are not good, some of them just are obnoxious. I do feel it's disruptive to the show. I like the shows that just, let the super chats kind of, accumulate and either do them all at once or just have like a free form where they're just like we're kind of more of a free for all. So I could see, once we're remonetized, like just call them as they come in if it's apropos to what we're talking about. Otherwise, it's like just wait till later and do them. But
I like them. I'm sorry, Dan.
No, go right ahead.
I like them, but there's too many. And I think even Patrick has said that. I think he's getting rid of some of them. I like the Kumia. I like the KB. I like the Felicia voice. The Taz one is on point. So certain ones that are really good, but there's just too many. Melton's good though. He knows kind of when to go to the chat and when not to. So he's got a good command of his show.
I like to use it to like tell a joke and and basically insult the guest as if I'm that person. So like I was watching that Pretty Antisocial show the other day and they were talking about Gino and Kiki. So I kept setting a bit as Kiki and calling her the slut shaming redhead and her wine mom sidekick and doing it as Kiki's voice. It's funny. It's like you're almost doing a little bit of an act. Shmuel, what voices would you pick if you were going to do the super tips? Whose voice would you want to be able to have?
I know I'm supposed to do yes but I haven't even gotten there. But probably Deb would be my first.
We gotta get Deb's AI voice going. She'd be great to have as a voice on that.
She would. I could just picture her. He's a fucking dog lover, but
he's a loser. Mama B says Pretty Antisocial is pretty unwatchable. I tell you, those broads have grown on me. I actually was ripping into them one time. I'm like, who are these? Who are these ladies? But I like that they're just like gossipy wine mom, just shit stirrers. So I can appreciate the shit stirring because that's kind of my formula. So they've definitely grown on me. So I like them. In fact, they said they want to come on the show, so we're gonna have them on sometime soon, and maybe we can talk about the upcoming case. What do you think about Gino and Kiki, Shmuel? You must have some pretty strong thoughts about
what, the two of the dumbest people on the planet.
Yeah, those two idiots.
I don't know. I'm so confused. I watched Keanu and I couldn't imagine ever like, how do you live with this person? Like, to me, I was like, I couldn't have a conversation with her. It would just be so dumb. But her refusing to understand what dissemination was until the judge explained it, it blew me away. But I thought one of my favorite things was she did a stream earlier this week with her mother where she was going off about this, and watching the mother was the best part because you could just see that woman was like, oh my God, my daughter is talking herself into trouble. And she's like, I just took them on their honeymoon. Now I'm going to have to bail her husband out of jail.
Or both
was-
when they perjure themselves.
It was unbelievable. And how could you be so absolutely naive about what's going to happen in a courtroom? I mean, haven't you watched TV your whole life? There's no drama. What you think doesn't matter. It's up to them.
She really is getting butthurt with these. This is why I like the pretty antisocial gals, because they are totally getting under Keanu's skin. Let's see if there's any
Absolutely.
parts we could. She loves calling her the slut shaming redhead. That's the language she used for Haley.
Let's see. I don't blame Keanu at all for responding to their videos about her. That's relevant. She's not asked for it. No, exactly. I can respond. Mom, yeah, wait.
Right. You can say
Why
whatever
not
you want to
fucking?
them because they're talking about you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I take offense. I take offense to that. Because you're
So
my kid.
Nobody hates a woman more than another woman, right? I mean, when the claws come out, it is just a sight to be seen. Shmuel, you're probably like me. You just stand back, don't say anything, and just let them just go at it because
Mama
this war
Thompson
is
has
great.
some claws.
Oh yeah, I like Michaeline. We are pro Michaeline on this show. I'd love to get her on. I think she's funny. The problem is I think she pampered Keanu a little too much. I think Keanu was, or maybe her dad did, daddy's little princess, and she could do no wrong. And she started doing the baby talk and the flapper girl accent because she never really grew up. She's always been the little princess who, no one pushed back on. And then add on that she's kind of dumb. And it's kind of a recipe for disaster. It's really hard to listen to her, how dumb she is. I mean, I've heard some dumb people, but she just takes the cake.
Yeah, I feel like I was listening as I watch them and listen to them and see their interactions, and then Keanu said like her mom is her best friend. I don't know. I wonder, is this like a situation where the mom wanted to be a friend and not a parent?
Yes, absolutely. I think probably I don't really know much about the father, but I think that definitely Michaeline wanted to be a friend and enabled Kiki, and the dad probably did too. Maybe she was daddy's girl, and that's okay to be daddy's girl. But I do think that. I think Michaeline just wants to be a buddy. I mean, geez, they're Eskimo sisters. They had sex with the same guy. That's crazy.
Speaking of dumb people in the Dabble hackverse, what do you think? So obviously, Felicia has been a big topic of discussion this past week for obvious reasons. I think I don't know if I told or if you heard this, Shmuel, but I was watching that car accident as it happened. I've been absolutely obsessed with watching her silly videos, and she was actually answering questions about Stuttering John of all people and his stand-up, and her eyes were just darting all over the place. She said, I'm starting an 8-hour car ride to Virginia. And then 5 minutes later, she crashes her car. I guess first off, what do you think about the car crash? And then just kind of your thoughts on Felicia in general, like what's going on with that whole sitch?
I'm a friend of Pat Dixon, and I just didn't know Felicia. And I'm just like, every time I watch Felicia talk, I'm like, Pat, what did you see? Like, what was interesting about this person? Because it wasn't there. And when it comes to the crash, she was looking at the phone, right? She looks over at the phone, and that's when the crash happened. So I think it was something occurred and she overcorrected, and that's what caused the accident. So streaming while driving and interacting with the chat. Now don't get me started on this. Is like, you're freaking homeless. How are you buying?
Well, you need.
Well, she's gonna live in a Toyota Tundra.
I need a
now,
bigger
Shmuel.
house. She needs a bigger house. That one looks like it'll suffice.
I couldn't believe this when she went live. I thought, okay, maybe she's gonna come on and be like remorseful and say, hey, I God, I fucked up and I really feel bad and I need to kind of reevaluate things. But no, she's in a Motel 6 or whatever, Holiday Inn, whatever kind of hotel she's in, and she's fumbling with her computer or her phone for like 30 minutes or 20 minutes, complaining that she can't share her screen. And you're thinking like, okay, well, what's she building up to here? And people are sticking around. Then suddenly she starts throwing up Toyota Supras and Highlanders and like top of the line cars. I was saying to Deb, some of these cars I could barely afford. Like I wouldn't even think about it. I have a nice house. She's homeless. What's going on?
Absolutely the same thing. My wife and I are in the process of buying a new car, and
I thought you were going to say we're in the process of a divorce. I'll be like, I'm so sorry.
No. We've always gotten, like, for the last 10 years, it's been Lexus, right? And we go to buy it, and it's just so expensive now. And we get an NX. We've just gotten new ones every few years. And we're looking at the prices of cars, and we're like, this is just too expensive. And we could afford it. I mean, it's not like we couldn't afford it. And I'm like, but it just seems like throwing money away. So then this just seems delusional, like a lot of things with Felicia. But I don't know. There's going to be a GoFundMe. I mean, I know that's.
Oh, I know. I know
it's coming. Oh yeah.
Oh
Mint
yeah.
Diggity has a great comment. I'm glad you left this up, Deb, because I wanted to bring this up. That same day, I think it was the same. It was either the same day or the day before. Once again, I am like becoming a Felicia Gillespie scholar here on this, because I saw the same thing Mint Diggity did. She was doing one of her vlog, one-on-one sort of things, and she's kind of stream of consciousness. And she was talking about how she's looking into getting either a puppet or a ventriloquist dummy, because she feels like that's going to like level her up as a comedian. If she starts doing like prop comedy, she thinks that that's like the missing piece to really round out her whole thing. When I heard her say that, that was an interesting, revelation. Because and I love Tukey's funny. I think he's maybe one of the most talented people in the shitverse. I like that, and I do generally like puppet stuff if it's done well. But I've yet to hear Felicia tell a joke on. She's been on, how many times have you been on MLC? Like, does she ever tell? Like, have you ever heard her tell a joke at all, Shmuel, when you've been watching? Like,
no, I've seen her perform, and she's not bad. Her performances are okay. The thing about seeing a comedian perform is you see them perform once and they're okay. The question is what happens when you see them over time? Like, do they develop? So I have no idea. I've never seen her tell a joke, or I've seen her tell jokes, but not that they land.
Does she do like the vagina stuff, like the female, body humor, or what's her material like?
She did do some female body stuff, but not vagina stuff. More about fitting into clothes, things like that. But it was all
seriously. She's talking about fitting into clothes.
It wasn't very memorable. I will say that. Like, I can't sit here. I'm like sitting here going, no, I can't think of jokes that she did. But I remember seeing it and thinking, it wasn't bad.
Do you think Kevin Brennan has enabled her a little bit? Do you think he should be not held responsible? That's way too serious. But does it feel like Kevin has kind of used her sort of unbalancedness, for lack of a better term, to his own advantage without maybe being considerate of the problems that she's facing?
Kevin enabling bad comics? I can't imagine, Dan. How could you say that?
How could he? Gambling in this establishment? No way.
Yeah, exactly. He definitely has. But, look, I think in the beginning it was to get Dixon. He just wanted to fuck with Pat Dixon. And then he just got caught up in it. And he doesn't really have anybody else, right? I mean, it's Felicia, Chad, Felicia, Stevie, Lou, Chad,
Liam.
Felicia, Liam. Yeah, and Liam's afraid of him. That's what's so interesting. Is like, I had Liam on the show and we're talking, and it's not like he comes out and says, "Oh, I'm afraid of Kevin Brennan," but he was all in with Ray not going to Hackamania last year, saying, "Well, if you're working for Kevin, you really have to understand his rules. And no one in comedy is respected who keeps comedians from performing in other places. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
So I was kind of blown away by that, especially because Liam considers himself such a comedy aficionado.
Who do you so if we're thinking of the MLC sidekick lineup, who do you like? If you had to stack rank them, and I'm thinking of, you mentioned some of them, Liam, Stevie Lou, Snorcerer. Where do you rank all of these people? Who do you like the most? Who do you not get that he keeps bringing on? Like what would be the Shmuel like stack ranking of KB sidekicks?
I like the Sorcerer a lot. I think those Saturday night shows with the Sorcerer and then having different people on where they talk about stuff, I think is great. I don't really watch Kevin that much. He's got it. The Chad is definitely the worst. I don't know what Stevie Lou offers. Stevie Lou's a nice guy, but I don't get it. Felicia is terrible. And, you know, I can't even think of who he has on besides that anymore. I mean, he's got my co-host Dave Sarah, so he's fantastic. But, you know, other than that.
How did you get hooked up with Dave Sarah? And like, where did that originate? How did you guys kind of get together and think that, hey, let's be partners here in crime? Where did that come from?
Well, you know, I've told the story before. Dave has heard it. I am a sober fella, and I was watching Dave on.
They say opposites attract, right, Shmuel?
Right. But every show he was on was cocaine, and he was playing into it. And I sent him a DM, and I just said, "Look, man, you know, you're young enough. You could get this career going if you want to. Being known as a cokehead is not going to serve you, and you really might want to think about it." And shockingly, Dave didn't respond with a "fuck you." He was like, "Oh yeah," and he has been off cocaine now has 20-something days, which
nice.
is
Good for him.
Is quite amazing. So we were just talking, and he was like, "Oh, you know, you should do a show. You should do this." And so he helped me get started to do something I was never intending on doing. And then he was helping me, and he came on and co-host. And so we did a couple of shows, and people seemed to like it. You know, what's a lot of people? I don't know. We were getting like 6 or 7 people who I respected sending me DMs saying, "Wow, we like the way you guys interact." So we just continued it. Whether it's going to continue or not, there's really no plan. I don't see that it's going to, just that his being on the West Coast and my being on the East Coast is so problematic. So
yeah.
I don't know if we're going to do it.
I think you guys foil each other well, though. I do think it's like a, you know, ebony and ivory, you know, in a lot of ways. I think it's good. That's why I like Deb. You know, we have a lot in common, but obviously we have a lot different, right? You know, so, you know, I'm Irish, she's Jewish. No, I'm just kidding. We went over this. She's actually Irish too, which that was
a bit we had going for a while, you know, because my Northeast voice, I got pegged as a tribes person, but I'm Catholic. Go to mass, everybody. Okay.
But it's good to have a co-host that you can play off of, that you don't like. My problem with a lot of these shows is there's too much of this yesing each other to death. Like I like when people can kind of go back and like, no, I'm going to hold my ground. I think this. It's okay that you think that, but let me tell you why I think this. And that to me is much more compelling than, you know, playing Stuttering John clip for the 10th time, and he's got a stain on his jacket, and everybody's like laughing in unison, you know, nodding their heads. Like to me, that just feels brainless. But
well, I think there's a place for everything. I just didn't want to do a show where Dave and I were ball washing each other. You know, we argue, and it's like, wow, this argument would be better had on the air than it would be between us on the phone. So oftentimes we talk And then I'm like, shut up. Let's do it on the stream. Let's do it on the stream. So that's where it comes.
Now, real quick, Mama B says that she didn't mind Dave until he talked absolute garbage BS today. Now, what's that all about? I didn't really catch Dave today.
I don't know, but her later chat is he doesn't know basic history, but runs his junky mouth.
Okay. They were asking him. I think that I lie. I caught a couple minutes of it. I guess they were asking him some things on history and Armenians, and I'm not sure.
Well, he's got an uncle,
okay.
the 85-year-old uncle.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay. Yeah, that was a good joke, though. Israel is fake, he said. That was kind of funny. That was a funny joke, Dave.
I thought it was cute, but if you're tuning in to MLC or Dave Sarah, looking for a intellectual take on history, you're in the wrong place.
Looking for intellectual thoughts on the Gaza conflict. Dave Sarah's your man, right? You want to go to him for information on the West Bank. Dave Sarah will give you great commentary.
Exactly. And I mean, how many people know dates, right? So his uncle was born in 1940 and Israel was made a country in 1948,
right,
which is why his uncle's passport is from Jordan. Dave likes to think it's a conspiracy. Let's let Dave think that.
And he is Armenian, right? You got to have a good, Armenians typically have a good sense of humor, right? You got to have a little bit of sense of humor with all they've had to endure over the years.
Have you seen their women? Oh, you have to.
Oy, oh. Oy vey. No wonder he's gay.
Is he gay? Is Dave Sarah gay? Or,
no.
Okay, because he does.
We can think that.
He does do that, but I think that's cute.
I'm not saying he's gay, but I'm also not saying he's straight.
Well, he was saying they were talking about Armenian nicknames, I guess, and I didn't know this. They're called Armos or Mos, which are like, homos. We call, homos, Mos. That's what people do. I don't. But
Shmuel, as someone who's a aficionado of threesomes, is it gay? Is it gay to do a threesome with another dude? Like, would you consider that to be a gay act, or is it cool?
I don't want to say I would consider it a gay act, but I would never do it. I would not have done it. I'm not in the business of doing threesomes now at this stage of my life, but I would never have gotten in bed with another guy.
Yeah.
Whether there was a woman or not, or two women or not.
Ozone, yeah. I don't disagree with you, and I really like Dave. And Dave was the hero of the Dabbleverse for quite some time for crashing, Stuttering John's Jay Leno Tonight Show reunion. So Dave gets his, I guess, Dabble points and Purple Heart for that. So that's when I learned about Dave Sarah.
I don't know if you put these up, but I
did, but it's worth another one. It's
gay as a $3 bill. Gay as fuck. Half gay.
I did not come on here to share Dave's secrets.
You're co-host, so you should not. We don't want you to, sell Dave down the river or anything here, Shmuel. But want to ask you, since this is part of why we wanted to have you on tonight. I want to honor someone, and it used to be ironic, my love of this person. I kind of was sort of tongue in cheek. It was, kind of playing along with, his dumb act. But I unironically am entertained. I won't say that he's the greatest person in the world or anything. I am genuinely entertained and amused and have respect of all things for one Ray Devito. And I want to tell why I think that. And once again, this is not a work. This is not, oh, Dan's doing this to be funny. I think that Ray DeVito, he's not the smartest bulb in the the GE factory, granted. And he's, had kind of an interesting life, but he's out there hustling, man. He is out there like every $2 super chat, man, he earns that $2 super chat. He reads everything you say, as long as you're not talking about certain people that might have a problem with. But he will read every super chat and he will give like a thoughtful response. He'll Google about it if he doesn't know about it, and he'll play along with it, whether he's being goofy and naive or whatever the case might be. But he's in it to win it. Like, Shmuel, am I wrong? Like, do you agree with this? Is this a hot take?
He's a very frustrating person to have as a friend, but I really like Ray.
How is he frustrated? How is it frustrating to have Ray as a friend?
Well, because he doesn't listen, right? And the other thing that he's done to me time and time again, which makes me crazy, is he'll call me, pour his heart out, don't tell anybody, don't tell anybody. And a week later, I'll be hearing that on a stream, knowing that I didn't tell anybody. So I feel like he called me.
He loves to swear people to secrecy,
wanted,
doesn't
so
he?
he called somebody else, his own, more than anything else. So he's frustrating in that he really wants to hear what he wants to hear. He wants the answer to be the answer that he wants, not necessarily the answer that you're going to give him. But his hustling, his getting out there. I mean, this guy's in clubs all the time. And unlike other people who brag about opening for this guy or that guy, Ray is actually out there performing. And people like the Gino thing, right? So this is the story. I guess that I don't know if you heard about Gino recording Mark Norman in a bathroom.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Is this the whole thing is that what he talked about this week that got clipped? Is that the story?
Yeah. So basically Gino had been saying that he got his animosity towards Ray DeVito. Ray DeVito was the one that got him booted from performing at the Stand. And the reality is it wasn't that at all. It was that Gino was doing a live stream from the Stand recording comics, and comics got pissed off. And then Gino, in his explanation, tells the story of he started the stream in the bathroom with the phone in his pocket, knowing it was recording Mark Norman. Now, I'd only heard about this recently. And what I found out was the night we talked about it on the stream, I got a phone call afterwards to tell me that Ray has known about this for more than a year and never told anyone because he didn't
holding it back.
He didn't want to shit on Gino. He didn't think it was right of him to do. He didn't want to cause Gino any problems. So Ray gets a lot of shit, but I think every now and then, his true character is he is actually a nice guy, and he really doesn't want to mess with other people and cause problems. Now, people disagree with me on that, but that's been he just, and when I have suggested many times that he come on and sort of talk about the people in the Dabbleverse that are giving him a hard time and say he won't do it. He really does believe in that. I want everybody to be successful.
I don't want to talk about the Dabbleverse. I want to talk about my comedian friends.
Now,
well, that's a different issue, but yeah.
Now, Shmuel, Leo Gunn is not a fan of Ray. And one of the reasons why is in chat here, I put this up. Once during a phone conversation, Ray doxed several prominent chatters' names to me when I didn't even ask. And he says real names. So
yeah, that's not bad. Look, I'm not saying Ray's not frustrated,
right?
And I can see that different people. I don't know that people would have the level of patience with him that I do, but overall, it's like Patrick Melton said. You really want to hate the guy, but you just can't.
Right.
He's just a lovable dummy. He's sometimes he can't get out of his own way, and you gotta. I've heard from people like the Leo Guns of the world, and I get it. He's a little bit of an what do you call it? A vampire, of a emotional vampire. Like he just sucks the life out of you. And if he knows that you'll listen to him, he'll spill out his guts to you. He'll confide in you. Almost kind of maybe go a little too far with the relationship more than you want it to go. Sometimes I think that's what people have said, but I think if you keep him at an arm's length, he's kind of harmless. I think. AC seemed like he was like the life of the party in AC. I mean, is that accurate?
I loved meeting him in AC. He was really personable. I've said this before. He was very friendly, very personable. He interacted with everybody. I didn't know what to expect. I've gone back and forth on Ray, and I'm at the point now where I'm enjoying him right now during watching his show and everything. And maybe I enable him in my head because I ascribe some things to when he had that head injury. And
Exactly.
so I do sort of give him a pass for that. Maybe I shouldn't, but that's what I do a lot.
And
And I guess
for me. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say
No, I'm
Ray
sorry.
Redemption 2025. Is that a real thing? Is this the year of Ray?
I
think
actually
Chad-
asked that
Chad
question,
killed all
and
his
I got
goodwill.
some shitty. I got some shitty responses from people. It's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, Shmuel, what did you want to say? I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Sorry,
What
I
were you
cut
going to
people
say?
off.
Well, we're bad at that.
I don't even know at this point, so don't worry about it.
All right,
We'll
then
just
I'm
move
going
on.
to lead to this. I'm going to jump in real quick. I want to know what's your history with Ray. How did you get to know him? Was it through this kind of hack-verse, shit-verse world? I only learned about him from watching MLC. That's where I came upon him.
So I met him, I guess, back when he was doing Shuli. Before that, I don't really remember. I must have met him at a show or something. I don't really remember, and we just sort of started talking and became friends. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Part of the deal now is, for me, it feels very hack to constantly shit on people. So I just don't. There's no value in me shitting on Ray, and I'm going to stand up for the guy. I was on Brennan's stream. I stood up for him. I just.
Right.
I don't know. He's easy to pick on. So it seems to me the more difficult task is to try to stay his friend.
Right.
And I like difficult tasks.
I don't know. I didn't get to meet Teamster Tim, which I regret. But I didn't do, as you know, I had no interest in doing the hotel room thing. And if you've seen the clip of Kumia, I'm kind of on the same page as him with that's something you do when you're 18 after prom. You go to a hotel and you party in a room and you all sit on a bed. I just
Mrs.
wasn't
Buckman was up in the room, right? You and
That's
you and the missus?
that's how I got up there. I had gotten a text from Mrs. Buckman with a picture of her in KB's room, and I'm like, "How the hell did you wind up there?" And apparently,
Shmuel, you don't want to know. You don't
Theo
want to know.
Hank.
Tio Hank just was like, "Come on, come with us," and they went up. So
Yeah, Theo Hank was the ambassador. He invited myself to go up to the room. Also Rob Saul, and Rob Saul and KB do not get along. So I didn't want to go up the room. Like I said, I didn't want to sit on a bed or be squished in a room. I was there to, as you know, Shmuel, where did you mostly see me? In the sports book. I was there to gamble.
yeah.
Gamble. So, and that's what I did. So I wasn't into going up to the room when I'm on a trip. I don't want to be holed up in a hotel room.
Well,
So,
Mrs. B went up there to own me, right?
Okay.
That's basically what it was.
Yeah.
It was like, well, you're not invited. She was trying to be funny to me. And then
She was trying to stick it to you.
stick it to me. And then I got a text or DM from Stevie Lou inviting me up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, now I have to go up because I don't want my wife to think I'm not wanted in places.
What does Mrs. B think about the whole shit verse? What's her feeling about everything? Does she keep track of this? Does she watch the shows? Like what's her connection?
Not at all. Not at all. And if I send her like a short video and ask her to watch it, she won't unless I sit and like force her to watch it. She doesn't understand it. She had a good time in Atlantic City. The people were fun, but she has no idea what we're doing here or why we're doing it.
So how do you explain to her what you're like? What she says, honey. So I know you're doing this YouTube show with all the young kids. Like, how do you explain what it is you do? Like your connection to all this. When you're sitting down for dinner with Mrs. B? How do you explain this whole situation?
We don't talk about this nearly as much as you would think. But I was an open micer for quite a while, and then gave it up and stopped doing it, and had done some stuff in the interim, and so she tolerates it. You know,
It's a little itch that you want to scratch, right? It's a little hobby that keeps you out of trouble. You know, it's better that than out, doing gallivanting or
yeah, and nothing. I never thought I was going to do any of this. It was just that I connected with Sarah, and then one thing led to another. So
Yeah,
that's
it's been
how
great. I enjoy it, Shmuel. I enjoy your opinions and your takes on different things that are going on in this crazy little world.
You
So,
still
and I
got a
didn't
fresh 5 minutes you can give? You got any material?
No,
got to
drop
type,
there, Shmuel?
got to kill Tony 1 minute.
I'm like Stuttering John. I'm retired.
I never would have taken you for an open mic comedian. So that's a surprising
It was a
revelation.
very
Yeah.
long time ago. But I developed terrible stage fright, and literally I couldn't get on stage unless I was like pretty hammered. And I've even after stopping drinking, I've never gotten over it. So,
How long
yeah,
ago
I'd
did you
love to
stop
do it,
drinking?
8 years, 8.5
Okay,
years.
so that's, I mean,
That's
I would say that's
impressive. Yeah.
recent, but that's pretty late in life that you put the bottle
Oh, yeah.
down. What was there anything specific that told you that it was time to take a or put it away? Like what was the deciding factor for you, other than you were sick and tired of being sick and tired?
So I'm on my third marriage, and I thought I'm gonna if I continue to behave this way, I'm gonna get this one's gonna end too. And as much as I would like, I'd always blame the women, right? They didn't understand me, they didn't get me, they didn't do it, any of those things. And so I said, well, let me just stop for a little while and let me see what happens. And everything changed. But what happens is you get older, and you go to doctors, and it's like, oh, here's Ambien, here's Xanax, and you start, you take one or two of those, and you have a couple of shots, and things become it was just strange. I was getting $500 Amazon orders I didn't remember, and I just wanted to stop. So.
Is it possible, do you think, to just be a social drinker? Like for me, I've cut down, and Deb knows this, I've cut down my drinking significantly. Like I only will drink now, like if I'm going out to dinner with my wife, or occasionally, like if I'm going out for like a client event or something, like when I'm traveling, like to a conference. Other than that, like I don't drink at home. I don't, I mean, I've got bottles of wine that have been sitting there for 2 years, and I don't have any compulsion to touch. Definitely when I do drink, sometimes I drink too much, hence why I don't drink anymore. And my wife asked me to cut down on my drinking. So I was like, okay, similar to you. It's like, okay, I don't want to screw this up, so I'm not going to screw it up. But is it possible, do you think, for some people to just be like that, or is that still a problem?
I think it's possible. I think it's possible. I don't do it. I just choose not to do it. But I think it's possible. Like, I think, and I also think there's like a lot of ways. I get these guys that are like, you have to be in AA, you have to do this, you have to do that. I don't really think any of that's true. I think everybody, people have a path, and you just live on that path. And for me, it's not important enough. I don't want to chance it. So, why bother?
Did you ever wake up somewhere? You know how you got there? Was it ever that bad?
I've blacked out, but no, I was very careful to never drive when I was doing that. And so that was my big thing. Like I could go out and not drink at all, and then I would get home, and it would be, oh yeah, now I can drink. So, and I don't think it was that I drank all that much, but it was when I did drink, I drank a lot, and I liked it. So
the blackouts are scary. Yeah. If you have, like, I think back, I'm like, man, there were a lot, like, and I never ended up in a place that I didn't know where I was. I always end up in my bed. Luckily I only got one DUI when I was in my 20s, and learned the lesson there, and didn't do any too much damage. Didn't hurt anyone or myself, but it was embarrassing. But
Did you guys ever piss the bed? Gavin talks about that all the time. He drinks a lot. And on Compound Censored, if you watch Get Off My Lawn, he'll talk about, oh yeah, I pissed the bed. I said it like, I haven't pissed the bed in a while. And I just find that like crazy. I don't know. Is that a guy thing? If you get
I don't think I've ever
that
pissed
drunk,
the bed.
do you piss
I
the
don't think
bed?
I don't think I've ever pissed the bed either.
There's sometimes I didn't make it to the bathroom and I pissed at a place I should, like I might have in
Like the
back in my
hallway?
college days. I pissed in the hallway one time, or in the corner of a common room one time in college, and then another time I think the worst one was this was in my apartment or my condo. I opened a drawer and I pissed in a drawer. I'm pretty sure I pissed in a drawer. I don't know what, like that was kind of like, okay, that's not good. You wake up the next day and there's like, wow, there's a lot of water in this drawer. That's like, no, that's not water. No shit. Then you start playing back. You're like, oh, I think I didn't quite make it to the bathroom last night.
Yeah. If it weren't for being pissed on, OJ, Obnoxious John, would be unknown to the Dabbleverse.
Oh, I know. I remember that was Kevin Dumbfuck. I don't know what happened to him. He pissed on OJ's. They were sharing a room, and he pissed on OJ's like clothing that was in the suitcase. And then that was the end of him, I guess. We haven't heard that Kevin Dumbfuck name in many, many moons.
Yeah, so it's look, I've done a lot of stuff. I didn't really want to talk about it here, but yeah, blackouts are scary. But the worst was for me during my second marriage. I would get all fucked up and I would tell my wife things that I didn't remember ever saying. And you'd be like, she'd be all packed up, ready to go away for the weekend. And I'm like, where are you going? Well, you said you were going to take me here and you were I'm like, oh my God. Like, I didn't remember it at all. And then, you're trying to cover up. You're trying to like, oh wait, yeah, I remember now. I forgot. And it just gets bad.
And, did you do any other fun stuff? Did you do any of the nose candy or anything else, or was it just booze?
No, it was booze, and I liked booze, and I liked prescription medication.
Yeah, that's a killer combo. That can
lead
to some bad stuff.
I don't think I was that bad. I'm sure that stopping everything was probably drastic, and I didn't have to do that. But why not?
Do you find yourself Sorry. I was gonna say, do you find yourself like something for me, and I have to resist it sometimes. I watch people drinking, and because when because you've been in the same spot I've been in, when you're doing it, when you're drinking all like every day almost, you don't really think that you're like an alcoholic, or you don't think that you're like a drunk. You're like, I'm just having a couple of fucking suds. I'm just having a couple of beers, but you're drinking almost every day. You're getting a buzz, and then after a while, you need a little bit more to get a buzz. But you're like, I'm not really like I can stop at any time, and in some cases you can, and it's not. It doesn't feel like a big deal, but what you don't realize, everybody around you is like, oh, he's a fucking booze bag, he is just drinking all the time, and I think that's what a lot of people, that are, it's no big deal. I just a couple of drinks after work, I'll go off, after work with, for, happy hour. Okay. I'm going to have a weekend. I'm going to go do weekend brunch. And then you start doing the math. You're like, God damn, I'm drinking every day and getting, almost hammered every day. It creeps up on you really fast. But do you have to fight yourself, like, scolding people and just kind of pointing that out to them? Or do you think that it's important to point that out to people?
Not at all. I don't, the thing with Dave was unusual. I don't really point that out to people, but I will say I didn't really realize how much of an asshole I could be drinking until I stopped drinking. And I was with other people that I used to drink with. And, the Stuttering John stuff, with him drinking and the things that he says and the dreams that he has that never come to fruition and all of that stuff. I'm like, I could picture myself doing that. And you think you're the smartest person in the world.
Well, the thing with with Stuttering John. I think Stuttering John, if he can be credited with anything, is helping many people that watch him in the Dabbleverse find sobriety. And another one that is a perfect example of what yourself and Dan were saying was, for a while, Cumia for years with the constant drinking. He drank on his show. And Cumia is a fun drunk and everything, but he would just drink at Sullivan's, drink on the Anthony Cumia show, maybe go back to Sullivan's if Gavin was around, then go back to the apartment he had in Mineola, video game, and he would just like drink. And while I found that wildly entertaining, I must admit those drunken Call of Duty streams, they were troubling. And I think since the heart attack, he's gotten it under control. And it seems like, he's supposed to make a big announcement. I know he was at WABC radio with Sid Rosenberg, and things are moving forward. And I think probably with this Trump administration, it's kind of opening the door for people, for lack of a better word, that were canceled or blackballed out of the industry. Everything's changing. It's going the other way. And real quick, before we play this, Shmuel is too old for a girly Fantasyland backdrop. It's worrisome. So.
You can't blame me for the backdrop. That is a Echo Pineapple creation. And I didn't have a backdrop.
He's a little fruity, isn't he? That
that's where it came from. Exactly. So I got the fruity backdrop from the fruit.
And another thing that I had up on the screen before, Doom would like to know where we could maybe catch clips of your stand-up, if there's any there.
I have no idea.
Old VHS tape somewhere
there. I'm sure there are VHS tapes, but I really got. I don't know. I was so embarrassed by my whole performance and stuff. I let it go. So, can I just say this? I said to my wife, I said, how do you like this backdrop? And she asked me if I was a 9-year-old girl. So
it does have a 9-year-old girl's
Leo,
bedroom,
you're not far off.
I was going to ask
you. Got to get you the glow in the dark stars that you can put on the ceiling and a black light.
I was going to ask you if you were secretly into My Little Pony.
What do they call those guys? Bronies?
Bronies. Yeah.
Dave Sarah got so pissed at me one time because he was on some show or whatever. I don't know if it was KB or one of them. And I was like, oh yeah, I love Dave Sarah's, the look of his room. It's like, he just needs I forget what I said. The last time I lived in a place like that, I had a black light. I had the lava lamp and the stars on the ceiling. And he does have a little bit of a dorm room vibe to Casa Sarah there, but not quite the unicorn backdrop that you have.
And I tend to be very much like a classical furniture kind of guy. This is not me, but it was.
Do you and Mrs. Buckman go antiquing on the weekends, Shmuel?
No. Mrs. Buckman doesn't have the patience for antiquing.
Shmuel,
great story.
I heard you mention before about the second wife. Are we dealing with a Levy over here? How many do you have under your belt there? How many do you have under your belt there as far as wives? We've got a Levy married 4 times, and Ari Jane, I think, takes the prize for the females. She was married 3 times. So where do you fit in with all
Ari Jane's, all her marriages were all like a couple of weeks, right? So those almost don't even count. It's like you kind of almost get like it's like, all right, we're just annulling that. That was a
mistake. Like, let's get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first marriage was when I was 18, and legally it lasted.
Were you a service guy? You're trying to get married before you head off to war, kind of thing. Yeah.
No, I wasn't trying to head off. There was no war when I was in the service. It was getting to live off base. My girlfriend was there, and if you weren't married, you had to live in the barracks.
Okay, gotcha.
But and she was like my sweetheart from home. But I think she stayed with me about a month, and it was over. But then it took, there was no fault divorce back then, so it just took a really long time. to end it. So really, I've been
You didn't
married
go to
twice, but
Nevada
I
for
throw
the,
that one in.
that's what they used
No,
to
my
do. You go to
second
Nevada
marriage
for
was
like a
in
month.
Nevada, and that one was legit.
Oh, nice.
Did you get married in Vegas at the Elvis Chapel
The second, no, it was actually a formal wedding and
in a church?
everything. Not in a church, but in a what do you call it? A non-sectarian wedding
Okay.
thing, but not one of the Elvis places or whatever. It was all planned out. It wasn't like we. I know a guy who got married at the drive-through.
Oh
And
gosh.
they gave them McDonald's coupons when they were done, so
That's
it wasn't
funny.
that cheesy.
What about a Skittles
Yeah.
cake? You ever have a Skittles cake at your wedding? Or popcorn?
At least my cake was not embarrassing. I will say that.
Her party
And we had a
favors
cake.
were like, yeah, her party favors were popcorn, like little, because it was a movie theater. So I guess I get it. I guess I get the theme.
They had like usher, like movie ushers at their wedding, like going from table to table. Interesting. I mean, God bless them. I guess when you're older, you can kind of do that. I mean, as long as it makes you happy, I guess. The Skittles cake, though, man. Oof.
How long
That
have you
one.
been married to Mrs. Schmuel, the latest?
Going on 13 years.
Wonderful. That's nice. Do you have any children in general?
So, wow. These are a lot of. This one, yeah. I'm not gonna. That's.
I'm not
one
trying
of
to
the
dox
answers.
them. I just
No, I don't want to.
Who are you, Ray DeVito, Deb? Come
I
on.
don't want to get into. I don't want to get into that.
Okay.
I do have one question though. One last personal question: is Shmuel Buckman your real name, or is that a stage name?
Shmuel Buckman is a real name,
But not yours.
It's about as far as I'll go with the.
Okay. All right. I like that. I like that air of mystery.
I like
perfect.
that. Yes.
So Kumia went on with Saul. Was it
Sid Rosenberg.
Sid Rosenberg, WBAB or whatever in New York.
WABC.
WBAC. Okay, close. WBAB. That was Opie, right, in Rochester.
That was Long Island. That was
Long Island.
WBAB was based out of Babylon, New York. It's still in operation.
Kumia, we think, left Missy at the hotel. She didn't want to. He got tipped off that I keep saying Saul Rosenberg. I'm Saul Rosenberg. I have warts on my ass and genitalia. Sid Rosenberg. Probably Missy would be a fan of Sid.
Good old Sid there, yeah.
For various reasons, but let's learn a little bit more about Kumia's big announcement. Would we call this the announcement, or is this like is he still foreshadowing the announcement, Deb? You know more about this than I do.
I think he's still foreshadowing it. It might be something he's still working on. So let's roll the tape and we'll see what he has to say.
Are you actually nervous that she was going to win?
Yes.
Is that why you moved to South Carolina?
Yeah. I bought a bunker, weapons. I'm living in a missile silo.
It wouldn't surprise me. How do you end up in South Carolina, honestly?
You make a left in Virginia.
How did he end up in South Carolina, Deb? We talked about this. What do you think?
Because he wanted a conservative area. He wanted to have his guns, and New York is very strict with guns, and New York is liberal. New York was going down the shitter with with the administration in New York City. We're having like kind of a flashback, not as bad, but kind of a throwback to the 70s and 80s, where New York was an absolute dump with junkies on the street and homeless everywhere, crime. It wasn't as bad. It wasn't as bad as, the old Bronx is burning days, but it's pretty bad. And he wanted to get out of there, add also the legal immigrants in the hotels and all that stuff. So he wanted to go to a conservative paradise where he could, maybe get ATVs, have a lot of land, and shoot guns in the backyard, burn trash in the fire pit, whatever the fuck he wants to do. So he picked it. I don't know how he picked Greenville. It is a great place. I have a friend that had moved there probably about the same time as him and says Greenville is awesome. It has been inviting me to go down there. So I hope I go down there, and I hope I can run into Missy and Anthony. I'll buy them some drinks or something.
Is this a fake Kumia in the chat?
No, I think it's actually the real Kumia. Fake Cumia is the Anthony Cumia that sends $2 supers to KB.
So this is the real. So the real Anthony is gracing us with his presence. I find that hard to believe, but maybe, just maybe.
Well, I am
School
now.
brings them in.
No, you know what? I'm friends with somebody of his now.
Fred from Brooklyn.
Fred from Brooklyn. I ran into him at the Borgata. He was actually the first person I ran into before the rest of the dabblers, which I didn't see the dabbler people till Saturday because I went gambling. And I got off the plane. I got my room. I went up, changed out of the airplane clothes, put new clothes on. And as I'm coming out of the elevator, I said this before, I see Fred. You have to hit your key on the pad there to go be allowed to up to the elevators. And I'm like, are you Fred from Brooklyn? I could not have been a nicer fellow.
So since Kumi is in the chat, if he's still here, I once again, I'm not gonna go off on Anthony, and frankly, I'm a big fan. I go way back. I'm not gonna kiss his ass, but obviously, I was an Opie and Anthony fan. That's where I come from. What I will say about the South Carolina thing, Anthony, if you're listening, I think that was a little bit of an impulsive move by you. Maybe you didn't quite think it out. You went down to visit, your lovely sister Donnie. Maybe you went down and you said, wow, South Carolina is really cool. It's there's some really cool cities like Greenville and other places. I love South Carolina. It's a great location. It's nice and
it's
warm.
wonderful. I love
no
it.
tax, and you can have guns and everything. But
And there's no Gino.
You get away from Gino.
Yet.
But I think if hindsight, Kumi, if we're doing a hindsight, you probably might have been better off staying closer to the tri-state area. Maybe go out into the, Westchester or someplace, maybe downsize on your house a little bit. And then you could still have all these opportunities. Fox News, you could probably do something with that. Go on the Gutfeld show. Maybe you could do a radio program, maybe make your own hours. It's a little harder to work remotely down in South Carolina. No, I want it out of North Carolina, New York. I get it. New York is a cesspool now, and there's crime. I mean, anybody that's been to New York City, it's a 1 hour 30-minute flight. Yeah, but you had that heart attack, dude. Like it's hard to travel when you're, have health issues. I get it though. Well, what do you think?
Once you have a heart attack, right? So I'm 62. I had one when I was 39. I had Anthony surgery and all that stuff. And once they close you all up and everything else, a little while later, you're fine. But I just want to say, people talking about Anthony being closer or whatever, the guy's done it all, right? He doesn't have anything he has to prove. He doesn't have to do any of these things. He didn't want to work as much as he was working. If he was in New York, we'd be pulling on him all the time to do this event, to do that event, the Fox News thing. And, being down in South Carolina, he gets to do what he wants when he wants to do it, right? Nobody's pulling at his strings. He doesn't have a business he has to run. Look, and Greenville is a beautiful place, a little too hot for me in the summer, but I see it. I see him just wanting to get away.
By the way, Quad or Doom or whoever's the fake Anthony, like you're not pulling it over on me. That's great. Now you can do the fake that we're getting hacked, and you can do that video next or that comment next. But if it was Anthony, thank you for joining. If it's not,
I think
it's
it
Quad
was.
Father.
I think it was, and it's a pleasure.
Quad and Doom do this shit all the time.
Do they?
Like this
What?
is they're
what?
You're trying to pull a fast one on me. Look at Doom. It's the real one. I looked. Yeah, Doom. Sure it is, buddy. I love you, Doom, but it's not the real Anthony. And which is if it was, that's fine. If it's not, it's not.
I think it is.
There's no way it's real Anthony.
Well, anyhow,
no
I did.
But good prank. Well done. You had me hooked for like 30 seconds. I believed it for 30 seconds. So thank you on that one.
But regardless, I kind of did the same thing that Anthony did, because if this was Anthony or if this was not Anthony, what he's saying, I believe, is what Anthony's motivation was. I'm assuming he researched an area and he found Greenville had exactly what he was looking for. I was surprised he didn't move closer to Dawn. She lives in Myrtle Beach, but that's about a 4-hour ride from Greenville. But I did the same thing. I wanted to get out. I believe him.
Ask Anthony. Ask a question that only Anthony would know. Deb, the real Anthony.
I'm trying to. You got me on the spot now. I'm trying to think.
Who did your dad hook you up with to?
Oh yeah. Well,
To flower
everybody
yourself.
knows
What was
that.
her name? Everybody. Oh, that's an easy
Everybody
one.
knows that.
Well, if it is a real Kumi, would you like to spill the beans? Would you like to give us a little preview of what your big announcement is? Buzz, okay, that's good. You got
That's
that
right.
answer.
Correct. Yeah.
Would you want to give us a Christine? Her name was Christine. Buzz named Christine. Okay, good. Do you want to reveal the big secret? Can you reveal it, or maybe tell us when we'll know what the big reveal is? Are you going to be on Gutfeld? Are you getting a
Doing
radio
anything with
program?
Jimmy? Or are you doing anything with Gas Digital? Maybe there's another merger down the pike. We're all dying to know. I kept checking censored.tv today.
Where are we at with the FNs today? Is it any FN updates? Say the N word, Ant. I've been meeting with WABC Radio for a radio show. Should we do the sounder? Let's just pretend.
Let's roll with this. Let's roll with this.
Okay, so breaking news. You heard it here first. Anthony Cumia is coming to the WABC Radio family of shows. He's meeting with them this week. He's doing some appearances with. I keep saying Sid Rosenberg. By the way, I love Sid Rosenberg. I think he's hilarious. I do know him pretty well from I forget where he used to be. I don't know if he was on FAN or where he came from, but he's a funny guy. So Anthony, congratulations. We'll keep an eye out. I'm happy. I said this to Deb. I have been somebody who is, ruffled Cumia's feathers and have poked fun at him many times. But the world is a better place, or entertainment world at least, with more Anthony Cumia. And I hate to say it, but Compound Censored, most people aren't seeing you on Compound Censored. I think there's a good loyal fan base, and congratulations for that. But that would be great to have you back on the radio, whether it's with Jimmy, whether it's your rotating hosts, even if it's a part-time, experience. Congratulations. We are very happy for you. I think the world's a better place with more Cumia. And if I could give you one tip, less FN stuff, maybe just dial it back just a little bit. You can still talk politics and right wing, but dial it back. I heard, Deb, you were the one saying he's been going through his Twitter, taking out some of the old tweets that might be controversial.
Right.
Probably a good idea. I delete my tweets very regularly. People think I'm hiding something, but just frankly, tweets only last 48 hours anyway. Then nobody cares about what you tweeted at that point. So you might as well just take them out. But
yeah, except the people who want to get you, right?
Yeah, they're always trying to set you up. So fake can't steal at Shmuel's thunder tonight. I'm playing along Doom. I know Doom's running a game on me. It's all good, and I know Doom. Okay, I gotta start saying Doom more so I can get on one of these little beginning Doom things. Doom, you got me. You bagged me, Doom. Consider it, you got me, and you can clip me and you can make fun of me. And we tricked Dan into thinking he was talking to Cumia because Dan's so full of himself. So you got me. It's him.
Well,
it's him, Dan. It's really him. No, it's not. Fake it. It's him. It's Doomia.
It's him, Dan.
It's Doomia. You got me, Doomia. You bastard. You got me. You made me look like a fool, Doomia. Hope you clip it.
If it's really him, the forum guys are gonna go nuts. And that's how Shmuel, you don't know, that's how I met Dan, was through the O&A forums.
And Doom knows I'm from the O&A forums thing, so he's playing this up because he knows he's going into my ego. He's stoking my ego. Doom, I know your tricks. Quad, I know your tricks. Those damn fucking Spurgtopia people, they've been waiting to spring a trap on me and make me look like a fool. So you got me, Doom.
Either way, this works for us. So, right? Because not everybody's going to believe. Most people aren't going to believe it's Cumia, but there will be people that do believe it's Cumia. And, Dan, your show I'm sure will be clipped that, Kumia revealed his
It'll be clipped like my
WABC radio
penis,
plans.
Shmuel. It'll be freshly clipped, and no, but
You know, either way, it'll get out there, right? So we know it's not Kumia.
yeah, it would be ingenious of him to go to this lightly watched show that nobody knows about and go on there and just jump into the chat and break the breaking announcement to 51 live viewers that he's signing with WABC. So pretty ingenious.
I did like you going easy when you really thought it was the real Kumia. So
Well, Dan, you might want to. I've been telling you, you might want to scrub the outro.
Oh, the outro. Yeah, the out. We still have some Kumia inside humor on the outro of our show. We'll still play it. So
I'll still play it, sure.
Kumia's got a good. If it is Kumia, he's got a good sense of humor.
Yeah, definitely.
You know. So,
but I get it for him wanting to move. It is a short hop to go to New York. I think whatever he's got going on isn't going to be something that's going to require 5 days a week of his time. So, you know, there's a lot of speculation.
Is Ray live right now? Do we know? Ray
know.
DM'd me and said he was going live.
Get your Punk email?
Yeah. Hey, I'm going live at 9:35 Punk. I actually sent him the link. I said, hey, Ray, if you want to come on, we're going to puff you up tonight. I'm going to really give you the business, Ray. And he's like, he appreciated it. And he actually confided in me. He told me a secret that I'm not allowed to tell anyone. Because that's a Ray Devito-ism, right? Where he tells you a secret and you can't tell anyone. So it's like a little.
Don't say anything to anybody. The sun's gonna.
Don't tell anybody I told you. But KB's giving this person the business. Oh, KB didn't get her text. So
Okay.
Listen to Deb, Dan. What did I not
about
listen
the outro? I guess I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got to scrub the outro. Okay, I'll work on it. I'm still gonna play it today. You know,
play it today for old time's sake.
Yeah, for old time's sake.
I think Kumi is ever going to be around long enough on a stream to listen to the outro.
No, of course not.
No, he's probably long gone. So, but no, I was saying about his motivations for moving. I did the same thing. I lived in Philly, and you had all the George Floyd stuff popping off, and everything went downhill from there. I moved to Delaware, which I do like Delaware a lot. I moved to Delaware, and then I worked my way down to Florida, and I had relatives that are snowbirds, and I visited Naples area, and I was like, okay, this is where I want to go. I want to get out of the cold, and I want to go somewhere else.
Julie, did you ever see the Hope Gutierrez episode with Ray?
Oh my God, yeah, that is. It's one of his best.
It is his best in my mind.
He put it right behind the wall.
I guess I must be in the club.
One of my big things with Ray is he has some of these awesome streams, and then he puts them right behind the wall because he's convinced somebody's going to clip them and make fun of him. And I'm like, Ray, they have the clips, they have the videos. You're only hiding it from people that might be interested in you and might watch you regularly.
This is my new favorite thing to ask female guest on Ray's show. You sound fun. How much for GFE and AC? You know what that is, Shmuel? GFE?
I have no idea.
Girlfriend experience. So it's like basically a prostitute, but she acts like your girlfriend. Very popular in certain places with affluent people. So, but Hope was down for. Hope seemed like she would have been down for a little GFE action if the price was right. She was pretty fucking wasted, but she was a good egg, very good egg. Ray needs to allow rewind. Yeah,
that's a pet peeve of mine. Not having rewind. KB does it a lot, and Melton does it sometimes, and it's annoying. Just allow rewind. Allow rewind, and don't put your episodes behind a paywall right away, KB. I'm talking to you. You know, but speaking of Kumia, KB went, he puts his stuff on the under paywall. I didn't benefit anyway. Who sees it? And he does the same exact stuff. If I watch him late, I miss it. He cuts it off immediately. So little hypocritical.
Have you ever noticed that Ray does this lick his lips thing a lot? Like his tongue, he gets tongue out, and that one Eli guy was saying that he breathes heavy. I never noticed that. Is that like a Ray thing where he's a
mouth breather for sure.
No, just play a few seconds of this. This was if for those that didn't see this Hope Gutierrez episode, it's almost worth signing up for Rock Bottom podcast just to watch this crazy drunk broad and her lesbian roommate.
Okay.
My phone died. Sorry.
Okay.
So now you have to see me from this angle because I'm plugged in.
Oh, all right. Dan from Nice Podcast Stupid. He's a fan of yours. He wants to know if you're single.
I am.
There you go.
Shocker.
We're gonna be in Atlantic City for the Super Bowl. That's where I'm gonna be. A lot of these people are gonna be in Atlantic City for the Super Bowl.
I do love how Ray like rephrased it. Like Dan from Nice Podcast, that good egg. He wants to know, Hope, are you single? Yeah. I actually am.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, Ray. Yeah.
Wait till I should
She must have
change
played
that,
with her hair
Ray.
a million times in this show.
Ray, help me, Ray.
She's got the voice you would expect on Michaeline.
Yes, kind of that deep kind of cigarette smoking voice.
I'll have fun with that.
Have fun with that. Like I'm gonna be in New Orleans. I'm gonna be on the field. I'm gonna be doing my
Slapping
shit.
butts.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said she was going to New Orleans for the Super Bowl. That would have been a treat. Imagine this is the kind of girl you meet when you're in New Orleans, right? Shmuel, when you're down, back in the day, you go down there for a couple of hurricanes and you run into a Hope Gutierrez, throwing beads at you or whatever. Definitely, she's
She's
a
got
New
nice
Orleans
hair.
type.
Can we pay her for a chunk of that to get transplanted in Sarah's bald spot? What do you think? If we could do that?
We could do like what do they call it when they donate the hair for the people that have
Locks
the
of
hair?
love.
Locks of love for Dave Sarah.
Yeah.
Do a locks of love for Dave.
Sarah's definitely got
That was bad, I
that
bet you.
friar tonsure thing going.
Got a hell. I'm going to say it again. A hell of a front hairline, though.
He's got a good front hairline.
He's
He does
got-
do it.
He's got good hair, except for the crater in the back. But yeah.
I won't.
Yeah, you
That's
gotta
not-
have like
that's-
rhythm in the hips and stuff to hula hoop.
Yeah, but
I could hula hoop when I was a kid. I don't think I could hula hoop anymore.
that tracks. No, okay, I can't do it in here, but okay. Fuck, I gotta put you to put it. Try to do that. Yeah, if you want to see me, I can do it. But yeah,
I get a little bit. I get a little bit.
It's like she's on double speed.
I have to go do it.
I unironically love Hope. I think I would do anything to get Hope like this on this show. She is like the entertainment level, and she's in this. Where are they in? Is this Astoria? I don't even know where.
Astoria.
And they're in but it seems like it's the biggest apartment in the world because she's able to hula hoop in it. I never thought you'd be able to
Rent
do that.
control, maybe rent control. Do you have the clip with the sexually ambiguous?
I think that's
Clark
that's coming
deaf
up
girl,
right now.
the deaf roommate.
Yeah, the deaf lesbian roommate. I think.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it.
Hope's gonna hula hoop for everyone.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Ray's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
uncomfortable.
yeah.
I'm Dr.
Yeah,
Holly.
I've done some weird shit on podcasts, but you're catching me.
We know Hope.
Oh god. Okay, here's roommates. Sorry.
You have room to hula. That's a fucking nice New York City apartment. If you have room to hula hoop.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I can. Okay. Can you see her? I can get it over here. Hi.
Hey, hello. How are you?
That's the what did you call her? Sexually ambiguous deaf roommate. Deaf
Caitlin Clark. You know? Right there in that still, she looks like a guy. Right there.
Yeah, she does
Yeah.
have some very masculine features.
Gotta be here. Gotta be here.
Also, you're a Cleveland Browns fan. I don't follow football, but I hate Cleveland just in general.
Oh, you hate the Browns?
No, I don't follow football. I'm an NBA fan, and I'm from Chicago, and a diehard Michael Jordan fan. And Cleveland is like the armpit of like the Midwest.
Okay. Have you been to Toledo? Toledo's not that hot.
I know I've never been to Toledo actually. So.
Actually.
I mean,
But
she's
Toledo is
proud.
in the Midwest.
Everybody in this apartment is like stuffed up. Like they all have like phlegm in their nose. I'm from Chicago, and I like Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
it's
it's,
like
also in Ohio. It's,
like-
literally an hour.
Yeah,
it's
geography
80
is not
minutes
my
away from
strong suit.
Ohio or Cleveland. It's 80 minutes from Ohio.
All
What
right,
about Akron? Is Akron the armpit?
hold on. Here we go. You see
There
it?
you go. Look at Hope.
Yeah.
Doing
I feel like this is not like worth the build up.
And this is like midnight on like a Tuesday, right, Deb? Like with the it was like the middle of the week.
Yeah,
you know,
it was just
like
so
the-
random.
just random people. Or I think she had been out drinking, right? Didn't she say that I think she was it during the playoffs? Maybe I forget.
Yeah, it
what,
was something she
Doesn't
said.
she
she'd
work
been
in a
drink-
bar?
Yeah, well, they all of Ray's friends. They work at bars, and then they moonlight as they host open
mics and
showcases.
showcases. Oh, look at that, Jinx.
Imagine how many
You're not-
guys are buying her shots all day long when she's
Oh,
working.
hell yeah, yeah! All these. I tell you, Ray, for being sexually ambiguous in terms of his one day he's asexual, the next day he's celibate, the next day he's out with Eli picking up chicks. You can't really put your finger on what's going on with Ray, but I mean, if I was in my 20s, man, some of these chicks that he hangs out with, they seem like a lot of fun, right, Shmuel? Like back in our younger days, I mean, hanging out in New York City with some of these crazy broads.
Oh, I would have loved it. One thing that those women all say about being around Ray is they're safe.
Yes.
He's
Ray's a
never-
good wingman. He's a fag hag. Well, I guess the girls that hang out with him maybe.
He's
the
never.
classic,
He never is going to go too far with. He's going to want to talk to them later on.
Good point. Anthony Cumia. Ray is a higher functioning Bobo. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with it, and that's why I like people like Ray that are sort of a little. Once again, when I use my word choice correct here, not the smart, like I said, not the smartest guy in the world, but high enough above the Mendoza line, so to speak, where you don't feel like you're picking on, somebody who's completely regarded, right, Shmuel?
Right.
It's like it's safe enough where you could kind of like laugh along with his silliness, so to speak, because he's not, like Jake Hudson. If you laugh at him, that feels like it's a little kind of going a little low. Like obviously he's got some issues, but
you know what though? He's a lot smarter than people give him credit for. Jake Hudson he knows when people are trying to take advantage of him. He knows when people are trying to clown him. So,
but like Frankie McDonald and Jake
Right.
Hudson, if you were like picking at them and being mean spirited, you'd look like a real piece of shit. But
Right.
with Ray, you could kind of almost pick on him a little bit, and he's high, like I said, high enough above the Mendoza line where it's like he's like, oh, and he also deflects it well. He's like, oh, shucks, and he just kind of goes along with it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think,
he goes along with it. When I started watching him on MLC, I would super chat and I'd send like mild insults and just chipping him, and he was a good sport about it. So I think most times he can laugh at himself.
let's just
Ray's a good-looking guy.
He's a handsome guy, especially for somebody in his 50s. Like he looks like
he looked better in person.
Yeah.
He looked-
Obnoxious John talks about going out with him, and Ray will come off stage, and the girls will be all over Ray, and he just doesn't like. They'll want to give him their phone number, and Ray never follows through.
Oh, I know. And people always say, "Oh, all these girls at the comedy club, they were giving him his number," and it's like, "Oh, no, she's my friend. She's my friend.
I don't want her to think of me that way."
Yeah, Ray is doing better than Felicia.
well, who's doing worse than Felicia these days? I mean, like
Gino?
Jesus Christ. Gino might be the rare exception to that.
He does do better than Chad, I'll say that.
Ooh, okay. And why do you think that?
Ray is outperforming every night.
So is Chad. I I'm not, you know,
So you're
not
so you're
every
saying
night
Ray
though.
is better than Chad. Ray is above Chad on the feeding chart.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I think Ray is outperforming every night, absolutely. And I would say about Chad that he is a steadily working comic, and he probably makes more at comedy than Ray because he's got guys like Florentine and Swartzen that bring him on these tours. So I think comedy wise, as far as a profession, I think he's making a little bit more. Probably a lot more.
I would disagree with that, but
Okay.
we don't need.
Yeah, no problem.
So yeah, if you have a chance, definitely check out the Hope Gutierrez episode. It's the it's the
She's a doll.
definitely one of the best episodes of Ray DeVito Rock Bottom podcast of all time. Ray is a hustler. That's what I've been saying. He hustles. He's hustling $2 super chats at a time. Like he's in it to win it, man. He is.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
You gotta respect the game. Like Ray is doing something. It's not the game that I want to be playing, but it's a game nonetheless. He's doing better than most. So God bless him. Ray DeVito. Do we dare say King of the Dabbleverse right now? Is he on the Iron Throne, Shmuel? Can we put Ray?
I don't know. He's definitely on a redemption arc, but I don't know. I wouldn't call him on the Iron Throne.
So Shmuel, we're almost at the 2-hour mark. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. We like to leave them wanting more, Shmuel. But so YouTube, you're up to 102 subscribers now. Are we above that?
Shockingly, yes.
Congratulations. I think I have 8. So I'm on the come up. I have 8.
So please like, share, subscribe, follow Shmuel. We got to get him monetized. It's a race between me and Shmuel to see who we can get remonetized here quicker. Do you have the hours yet? Have you been following?
No, I'm not even close. I have probably 700 hours if I have that. So I'm not even close. Look, I'm doing this for fun, and I've just been amazed at the response, and I'm kind of blown away by it. So it's like a moment in time, and probably in 3 months, no one will ever want to hear from me again. So
I think I got an extra. All right, I got 9. Thank you, Angie Drinks. 9.
Oh yeah, we got to put Deb's up. Let me just see. I have you somewhere up here. Check out Deb.
Send the link. There's not much
on
to check
X
out.
at Deb LVP. Also your Venmo, right, Deb? If people want to send money for foot pics to Deb LVP.
No,
YouTube at the Comedy Stew, right?
Yeah. You know what? Let me put the link in. Nobody can ever find it. Let me see.
When are you going to start doing shows? Because you've interviewed some famous comedians. You interviewed Norton and Sam Tripoli and some other people.
Sam Morril. Sam Morril.
I keep saying Sam Tripoli. Why do I keep saying that? Sam Morril. For some reason, I had them. It's a problem I have in my head. But are you going to put up those interviews on there, or what are you going to do with the Comedy Stew?
I'm going to put up the interviews. I'm going to start iKeeps every week. I've been saying this for like probably 6 months or more. But I do have so much fun just kind of coming on different people's shows and talking. And what did John used to say? Chewing the shit or something instead of chewing the fat, I do want to put stuff up. I've got to dig in there and get some, I have the EV Mux thing. I moved away from StreamYard. I have EV Mux, so I am paying for it every month. I ought to use it. It seems pretty user friendly, so I've got to work on it. I guess I want like a nice intro and a nice outro, but I got to just do no bells.
We got to get you a producer. I need a producer too.
I can't afford a producer.
We need Adam. Where's Adam? Get Adam. We want Adam back. Shmuel, do you have any final comments? Anything you want to say on the way out?
Hey yo, what up? This Tyrone.
Fuck off.